Welcome to Vedic Ganit discipline of knowledge. In step 7, our focus is to glimpse 7 space chase steps format. First we shall glimpse 7 space and then we have to glimpse its chase steps format. To glimpse 7 space, let us be face to face with this pictorial representation. Lord Vishnu has a seat for Lord Brahma with his navel knot string. Navel knot string is a link, a coordination of Lord Brahma, a 4-space presiding deity, Lord Vishnu, 6-space Lord, and at the boundary is Goddess Lakshmi, 5-space goddess, and this is along the waterbed format as a Sheshnag, and it is a 7-space origin. 4-space plays the role of a dimension, 5-space as a boundary, 6-space as a domain, and 7-space as the origin. The formulation Shesh is of TCV value 15. Value 15 is equal to 2 raised to power 7 plus 1, which means 15 geometries range of 7 space. Parallel to it, there are 15 versions of hypercube 7, the representative regular body of 7 space. This depiction as such is the depiction for fourfold manifestation layer of hypercube 6, the representative regular body of 6 space with 7 space in the role of an origin. Therefore, to glimpse 7 space would mean that we have to glimpse the origin of 6 space. The origin of 6 space is a 7 space. We have to transcend within 6-space domain, and this transcendence within 7-space domain is to be along its creative dimension, and reach will be up till the dimension of a dimension. 2-space as dimension of dimension, as the second element is the water element. As such, this transcendence within 6 space with a reach up till its dimension of dimension is going to be a reach up till the water. Therefore, the water bed is the bed of reach of the manifestation of 6 space. So 6-space manifestation as hypercube 6 permits transcendence within it along 6, 4 and 2, and there is going to be reach up till the second element. Now the Shesh Nag is the formulation which gives us TC value 15 plus 14 is equal to 29, and we know 29 is the TC value of formulation Brahma, the overlord of 4 space in the role of dimension of a 6 space. Let us sit comfortably. Let us be face to face with these features and depiction of manifestation of 6 space with 7 space as an origin. Let us open a new page. Let us mention that today our attempt is to glimpse 7 space chase steps format. We want to glimpse 7 space, but we want to glimpse it as a format along which this glimpse could be there. How 7 space can be glimpsed, how 7 space can be chased, what are going to be the chase steps, and what format is made for chase of these steps. Therefore, our attempt today is that we shall glimpse 7 space. This 7 space glimpse as such is going to be a chain of steps. This chain of steps will make a format. Therefore, our ultimate aim today is to glimpse a format along which we can glimpse 7 space as a chain of chase steps. Now, for it, we have to first revisit 6 space manifestation. 6 space manifestation is a 4-fold manifestation layer, and this 4-fold manifestation layer would mean within creators of space. As it is within creators of space that manifestations or of 4-fold layers forms. So 6 space as well as hypercube 6 manifests within 4 space, means along the format of hypercube 4 as a 4-fold manifestation layer. Further, in this depiction, we have also seen that 4 space is having a string emanation from the navel of Lord Vishnu. Therefore, it gives us a comprehension and insight as to how the creative dimension, 4 space as a dimension, Lord Brahma playing the role of a dimension of 6 space, stands coordinated and connected. It is this connection, it is this coordination, it is this organization, it is this arrangement which is to be comprehended well. It is with this comprehension we will have a step ahead, as that ultimately the base 7 space as origin, as a Sheshnag with TC value 29 will be again leading us to it as a format of the features within creators of space. Therefore, entire format of manifestation, including 7 space in the role of an origin, is a manifestation within creators of space. Therefore, we have to glimpse chase steps format of 7 space within creators of space as a water bed, as a Sheshnag formulation leading us to TC value 29 parallel to the TC value of formulation Brahma. One shall have a pause here, one shall pose to oneself as to how the entire manifestation of 4-fold manifestation layer of hypercube 6, including the 4th fold, origin fold, 7 space in the role of origin fold, as well is a manifestation depicted by the formulation Sheshnag of TC value 29 parallel to TC value Brahma of the Lord, Creator the Supreme, the Overlord of the fourth space. Now let us go a step ahead. The first comprehension is be in the form of this depiction of hypercube 6 as a fourfold manifestation layer with 7 space in the role of the origin. Now the second depiction is that 7 space is a format of a pole star Dhruv. Dhruv we know is of TC value 19, and we know that 6 space has 7 space as an origin. Therefore, when the 6 space transcends out of the 6 space domain, that means when the 7 space is transcends out of 6 space domain, it splits the domain, 6 space domain, in 2 parts. Therefore, this value 6, 6 and 7 with the summation value 19. As such, the pole star 7 space as origin of 6 space is a phenomenon which in the original manifested form is a 7 space in a zero state value at a seat at the center of the hypercube 6, at the center of hypercube 6. So it is at the center of the sun. Therefore, the orb of the sun is a seat of the origin. The origin of the sun with a seat at orb of the sun at center of hypercube 6 is a 7 space setup. This 7 space setup, when transcends out of the 6 space domain, then it leads us to a transcendence spectrum of value 19, which is parallel to the value of a formulation Dhruv pole star. Let us go a step ahead. From Earth, we have a reach up till the pole star as 7 steps. First step is a Prithvi Tattva. Second step is Apa Tattva. Third step is Tej. Fourth is Vayu. Fifth is Akash. Sixth is Surya. And seventh is Dhruv. Let us revisit these formulations. These formulations lead us to TC values 25, 8, 15, 13, 8, 13 and 19. Then the summation value comes to be 25. These together lead to 33, triple of them 48, quadruple 61, penta 69, hexa 82 and hepta 101. Let us have a pause here. See, this value 101 is parallel to the Yajurveda branches. There are 101 branches of Yajurveda. 7 space format of pole star has a reach in 7 steps as 5 Mahabhut, sun and the pole star. These 7 steps reach is a reach from Earth to pole star, and this reach as it is going to be of 101 steps. And let us have a pause here. We know that the existence phenomenon within human frame is parallel to the existence phenomenon of our solar universe. Human frame is of Shad chakras format, and the solar universe of 6 steps is of Sthapatya miring rod of 6 steps. In these parallel steps in our existence, we have two things to be seen. One is our tap, our karmas, our action, our existence, and the other part is the Atma, the soul. Therefore, this tap means when this body disintegrates, then it disintegrates in such a way that tap reaches a Surya and Atma reaches a Dhruv, pole star. That means this value 13 and tap 11, this value 19 and value 17 means it becomes the dimension and domain relationship. It also becomes dimension and domain relationship. This difference of value 2 together with this difference of value 2 gives us value 4. Therefore, after disintegration, we reach at the value 97. 97 is the value which deserves to be chased as a synthesis of pair of transcendence ranges of unity state dimension, 7 space in the role of a dimension. So synthesis value will be 7 and the pair of such dimensions as such will lead us to value 97. Therefore, value 97 is the value which deserves to be visited as that it is 7 space which is in the role of dimension of 9 space as a domain. As such, this phenomenon of disintegration of human body and its reach back in the Panch Mahabhut and Surya and the Dhruv is a phenomenon of value 97, which is the phenomenon of the synthesis of a pair of unity state dimensional transcendence ranges. Now let us further have a pause here and let us see that the values 1 to 1000 means the Shahishtra, which also would mean Anand. So infinitely infinite existence phenomenon is the phenomenon of chase along artifices of values 1 to 1000. These values 1 to 1000 lead us to the biggest prime as 9, 9 and 7. We know that the pair of unity state dimensions synthesize value 9, and in reverse orientation the pair of minus Brahman domains, 9 space domain, lead to value minus 7. One shall have a pause here. One shall sit comfortably. Let us tabulate these features. First set of features to be tabulated or to having a glimpse of 7 space in the role of an origin of 6 space being depicted in this format and with all these features. The second tabulation is the tabulation of a reach from Earth to a pole star in 7 steps, and this leads to a value 101, and then with its disintegration, when the pole star goes to its dimension value 17 and Surya goes to its value 11, total making it value 28. So it is the Brahm. So when this Brahman disintegration is there, when the Atma goes and gets unified, merged in the Brahm, then this value goes to be that Atma goes to the pole star, and our tap, our actions, our karma, our pralabdha, and our bhagya, and all that our existence phenomenon as such goes back for its deposit within the sun. Now, in this context, we have further seen that this disintegration takes to value 97, and then this transcendence with this manifestation layer. So it is this transcendence range starting from 97 and reaching up till 101, and it is going to be of hypercube 99. It is this hypercube 9 which is the ultimate organization format. We have to be very cautious, very slow, very gentle, step by step, in a sequential way to have this tabulation. Then from value 97 we see, and when we will be reaching at the grid 7 into 9, and this grid will be organizing as 63 double digit numbers of 8 place value system. So 8 place value system with its 63 double digit points getting organized along 7 cross 9 format leads to the next 64th number, which transits and transforms into a triple digit number of expression 100, but it is being of value 64 as 8 square for 10 place value system, and it is here that 10 square is again, it is this reach from 100 to 64 with a jump over value of 36 is equal to 6 square, gives us a coordination for 6 square, 8 square and 10 square. Let us have a pause here and take note that the total primes up till 1000 are 168. Let us have a pause. Now we are entering the third tabulation. We are now tabulating a third table of values and features of a 7 space as dimension, taking us to 9 space as a domain, with 8 space as a boundary and 10 space as an origin. Now it is this value which deserves to be comprehended well. For it, first of all, we know that we are getting 168 primes. Value 168 gives us 8 into 21. This value 21 is equal to 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 plus 5 plus 6. Though it is parallel to a Sthapatya miring rod. It is this Sthapatya miring rod in 8 in numbers. So it is going to be dimensional frame of 8 space of 8 dimensions with 6 space playing the role of a dimension. Therefore, this existence phenomenon as such is taking us to 8 space. So 6 space as dimension, 7 space as boundary and 8 space as a domain. Now it is this reach, it is this feature which deserves to be comprehended well. One shall imbibe these features and have this third tabulation. Now the fourth tabulation is going to be of the dimensional synthesis. We know that if we have a linear dimension, 1 space in the role of a dimension, then 2 space, 3 space, 4 space, 5 space, 6 space and 7 space in dimensions. And when we have a single dimension, pair of dimensions, triple 4, 5, 6 and 7 dimensions. Now these 7, 1 space to 7 space in the role of dimension and 1 to 7 dimension sets. When we have this 7 cross 7 is equal to 49. If we see these 49 values, it will be blissful to take note that the linear dimensions and synthesis of single dimension is value 1, pair of dimensions gives value 3, triple gives 6, then 10, 15, 21 and 28. Further, if spatial dimensions values are 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12 and 14. Third solid 3, 5, 6, 6, 5, 3, 0. Creative 4 space dimensions 4, 6, 6, 4, 0, minus 6, minus 14. Transcendental dimensions means 5 space in the roller dimension 5, 7, 6, 2, minus 5, minus 15 and minus 28. Then self-referral means 6 space in dimension gives us value 6, 8, 6, 0, minus 10, minus 24, minus 42. And finally unity state 7 space in the role of dimensions gives us value 7, 9, 6, minus 2, minus 15, minus 33 and minus 70. Now let us have a pause. Let us see that if we have an addition, summation value of the single, double, triple and quadruple dimensions of linear to unity state, we see in all these cases the value comes to be 20. And ahead we know this value comes to be value 64. Now if we have a comparison of these summation values and if from linear values we have the subtraction or comparison with the spatial, we see the difference value of the summation value is going to be 28. So at each step there is going to be a diminishing value of 28. It is this role of Brahm which deserves to be comprehended well. Further we know that 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 plus 5 plus 6 plus 7 is equal to 28. Still further we know that if we have values 1 to 28 and if we reach at their factors, then we'll see it will take us to 56. Therefore value 1 to 28 value is a range leads us to factors 56 means value 28 duplicates itself. Now value 28 duplicates itself and value 28 is the summation values of 1 to 7. So 1 to 7 as 28 and value 28 duplicating itself and then the synthesis values difference at each step going to be of value 28. It is this feature which deserves to be comprehended well. We have to be very careful, very sensitive while being face to face these features. So this fourth table features are the features which takes us to from linear dimensional order to unity state dimensional order and the summation values from single to 7 dimensions. So it makes a table of 49 synthesis values and these 49 synthesis values we see are ultimately taking us to difference at each step be 28. So 28 plus 21 makes us 49 and this 21 becomes the Sthapatya ring rod. So it is the Brahman chase along the Sthapatya ring rod which makes 49 which is Marut Gana. So these Marut Ganas are the carriers, the transcendental carriers. How this phenomenon of Marut Gana means reaching from value 7 to value 7 square. So it is this reach which is a feature which deserves to be comprehended well. Once we are face to face with these 4 distinct steps, first step is to glimpse 7 space as origin of a 6 space with hypercube 6 as its manifestation layer with 7 space in the role of origin. The second tabulation is of a reach in 7 steps from Prithvi, earth element, to pole star, and this reach is of 101 steps, and when disintegrated it remains values 97, and value 97 to value 101 is the transcendence range of hypercube 99 and all connected aspects. Then the next step is going to be of a grid 7 cross 9. It is going to be of the primes of 1 to 1000, and then we are at the next step at the dimensional synthesis. These features, these values, though here initially for the initial stage being depicted distinctively step by step, however, for the comprehensive view, for a full insight, for a complete enlightenment about the format of the chase steps to glimpse 7 space, we have to have simultaneous comprehensions of all these features and all other connected features, so that we will be face to face with the existence phenomenon of our solar universe, with pole star playing the role of its origin. In this light, when we will be having this comprehension, then we have to revisit, and this revisit is going to be as to how there happens to be a split of the domain. So a single domain at the initial stage of value 1 splits into a pair of domains of values n minus 2. So this value n domain splits into n minus 2 domain. So means it is a reach from domain to its dimension. At the next step from here, there happens to be a dimension of a dimension, and likewise this pair of dimensions as well as reach out to the n minus 4 and n minus 4 one pair, n minus 4 and n minus 4 another pair, there happens to be values 5. So in its initial stage, domain is integrated of value 1. At the next stage, it is of value 2. The next stage, it is of value 5. And at the next stage, it comes to value 12. And then it becomes a value 29. And the next step, it becomes a value 17. Now, these are the values which are sequentially happening as a split phenomenon. Now, this split phenomenon, as it is to be chased, and it is with its chase we will be having a complementing and supplementing features of synthesis of dimensions and split of the domains. So synthesis of dimensions and split of the domains are the pair of phenomenon which deserve to be comprehended simultaneously. It is with this comprehension that we will be ultimately seeing as to how 7 space in the role of an origin proves to be a 7 streams flow through the artifices of numbers, as artifices of soul self alone, as a Divya Ganga Pravaha. It is this Divya Ganga Pravaha of 11 steps and the 7 streams, value 77. It is this value 77 which is parallel to Devanagari Varanamala. Like that, we will see and we will reach at that when 6 space is enveloped within a transcendental boundary of 12 components, and these are again within the creative components, and this phenomenon of the solar universe which gives a reach up till pole star as origin, and it is this origin which will be splitting the solar universe into a southern hemisphere of value 19 and northern hemisphere of value 17, and it itself getting the format of value 18, and these together going to the origin of 20, which is a Dev, which is a Ved, From this stage, we will be picking up a step further, and when we will see as to how the Divya Ganga Pravaha at the center, at the origin of sixth space, at the pole star, how from within the pole star there is a Divya Ganga Pravaha, and it is this Divya Ganga Pravaha which is manifesting, and it is this manifestation and it is this transcendence which ultimately becomes the Vedic knowledge, and it is this Vedic knowledge which has been organized by Maharishi Ved Vyas as Samhitas, Brahmanas, Aranyaks and Upanishads of Rig Ved, Yajurved, Samved and Atharved. Thank you very much.